Issue is.
The Atlantic features a new podcast by Garry Kasparov with Frank Luntz called The Pollster Who Sensed Democracy Was Faltering. In it, they discuss a roadmap to restore American democracy. With us in studio to talk about that and more is Frank Luntz, one of the best known and most successful pollsters and strategists in recent political history. Frank, welcome back to The Issue Is.
You know, viewers won't know this, but you said to me just before we came on air, let's have some fun. And my response back to you is that there's nothing fun about this. And this is how I truly feel.
That's just spending time with me?
No, I'm listening to the country. I'm watching the decline in trust and confidence in institutions. I'm watching the polarization as we pull further and further apart. And I'm watching the anger that we express to each other in simple daily conversation. And we're in trouble.
And your focus groups, you said that there's one word that sort of encapsulates the spirit of where Americans are at right now. What's that word?
Enough. And enough, all caps, exclamation point, probably red letters, because they're screaming it now. This is a primal scream. They've had enough of the anger. They've had enough of the toxicity that our politics are, and they want us to come together. I'm watching you showing video right now of Gavin Newsom, the governor. They don't want him to be the loyal opposition. They don't want him to be resistance. What they're asking from him, and they're asking of Republicans and Democrats alike, is shut up and do your job. And that's what they're asking for from the people that we elect to office. Just stop playing politics and get the job done.
But then there's also, at the same time, this infrastructure set up that incentivizes this, right? There's a media infrastructure that incentivizes conflict. There's a social media infrastructure that emphasizes lack of nuance, fighting, and that's where they get money from. That's where they get attention from. Working together doesn't seem to get you anywhere in this infrastructure.
And you mentioned the two most important, but there's a third and a fourth. The third is education. We're not being taught critical thinking. We're not being taught how to differentiate truth from fiction. And that's absolutely essential. And the fourth thing are politicians that are prepared to take advantage of the system that you speak of and forget that first and foremost, they represent the people. And you combine all four of these, and that's created this storm that we have right now. And I'm apoplectic because I see where we are, but I don't have a way yet to get us out of this.
And so you're thinking about sort of coming up with a roadmap out of this. And you say that three people that have a unique role in getting us out of this, you mentioned Stephen A. Smith, Joe Rogan, and Mark Cuban. Yeah. Why them?
Stephen A. Smith, because he's a straight shooter. You can disagree with him. He understands politics. He understands policy. He's not a sports guy. He's a genuine commentator of our condition right now. He has all those other things. Mark Cuban, because he's a genuinely successful businessman who started from scratch and understands the issues like health, for example. He's got solutions to health that most business people do not have. And Joe Rogan, because people pay attention to him. And they will watch long-form communication at the very moment that we have all these young people focused on TikTok, which is to get their news in 20 and 30-second increments. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan, you have to watch for an hour or two or even three.
So what did you think those guys need to do to help us get out of this?
I want them to participate. I want them to be involved. I don't laugh at them. I do exactly the opposite. If a voter pays attention to them, then give them something to pay attention about. Actually do more commentary. Get involved in the policy process, because we're more likely to trust them than we are the politicians in Washington. I don't mean to give the members of Congress who watch this, I don't mean to slam them, but I do mean to emphasize that we will not accept politics as usual. We're looking for something different, and we're running out of time. We're becoming so impatient because we've been promises from the left, promises from the right, and it's not happening.
So the only institution right now that people tend to trust is the military.
Exactly.
And you, for the last couple of years, have been teaching at West Point, where you are like a changed person. I mean, they are inspiring you in dramatic ways Talk about the main lessons that you have learned from the cadets that you teach at West Point.
So that picture that you see right there was taken from Kevin McCarthy's office, the Speaker's office. And the cadets, they are the best in terms of character. It's leadership with character. That's the core principle of what West Point teaches. Selfless service, critical thinking, problem solving, team building, and character development. There's no other school like it. And they also teach the attributes of military, the importance of your physical condition. There is no university like West Point, and it produces the most incredible human beings. For everyone there, I'm watching the pictures as they go by. This is a typical day or a typical week. Push-ups. If my cadets say the word like, I give them a warning. If they say like a second time, they're on the ground and doing 10 push-ups. They do it again, 20 push-ups. You know what happens? I produce young people who don't say like. You show me another university that does that. That's just an example. They're up at 5:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier. They sleep outside, in the rain, in the snow, sometimes with no covering, as part of their training. They learn discipline, they learn resilience. All the attributes that every parent wants their kid to have is exactly what they teach. And this is not happening in the Ivy Leagues. And my only fear is I don't do it justice, because if we want to be a great country, if we want to be a great people, we need this academy. Leave it alone. Let it do what it does. And I get a chance to meet May of every year and in August of every year the best young leaders on the face of the globe.
And you've, as we just saw in those images, have introduced them to the top leaders in both the Republican and Democratic parties, the top leaders in media as well. You've introduced them to everybody. What do you think are the takeaways that they get from those meetings? Obviously, a lot of those people are probably speaking to them, but what would you want the leaders to take from meeting them?
First, we are blessed. We are truly blessed to have this academy and the Naval Academy and Air Force. We are blessed to have these places that don't focus on woke, don't focus on performance, focus on real life challenges, focus on the way things are, not the way we wish them to be. Second is that this academy produces the best quality leaders on the face of the earth. Third, all the values that we promote, civility, decency, respect, resilience, discipline, focus. Every single cadet, without exception, has these qualities or they don't graduate.
Yeah.
And finally, they restore my faith in the country and in the Constitution, because this is something that I want every viewer to know. They don't defend the president. They don't defend the country. They don't even defend us. They're there to defend the Constitution, the greatest document that's ever been written, and they do so with pride, with dedication, with persistence and perseverance.
You've spent a lot of your life in politics in a pretty cynical world with a lot of cutthroat situations.
Yes, and look what it's done to me.
And how has spending time with them changed you?
I should never let someone do a third question, because I can handle the first two, and the third question brings this out of me. I'm the worst person in the room. And they tell me, stop saying this, but I am. A cadet cannot lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate anyone who does. I'm sure that you've seen people behave badly in your day-to-day life. You can't do that at West Point. You have to speak up. They make me a better person. I live by better standards, by better values. I take ethics seriously, and I speak up and I speak out in ways I never did before. But most importantly, the women there are just incredible. The people there of color, you don't have to have DEI. There's a level of competence that teach me that all these ridiculous theories do not need to happen. You take responsibility for your actions, you hold yourself accountable, you protect the person to your left and the person to your right. and you're responsible for them, that level of service, and look, most of these viewers know that my health has not been great. They can't wait to serve. I watch them. If someone's having a problem, they go right over and help. No one has to ask them. If there's a piece of trash on the ground, they pick it up and they throw it away. Where does that happen? In Los Angeles? In anywhere in California? If someone's trying to get across the street, they will help them. If someone is struggling, they're there to make a difference. That's selfless service. I don't do enough. Frankly, I don't do enough. And that's where they teach me. I have to do more. And in the time that I have, I'm going to do as much as I can for them because they do as much as they can for the country.
Back to some of the politics, which I know is not as much your favorite topic on this, but it was interesting to see you had Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland,
Only Wes
together.
And by the way, the coolest thing for me, the coolest moment, you pull it up right there. Now, you just took out the people who actually matter.
No, sorry.
Put them back in. Back in the control room. Finally, you're showing me the politicians, show the young people.
Yeah.
So here's what's amazing. I know you're going to ask me about that picture.
Yeah.
The coolest thing was we're in front of the Capitol, on the steps of the Capitol, and they're doing push-ups. A Democratic congressman and a Republican congressman together. The West Point Cadets actually brought the two parties together at the same time for the same purpose. And all the people standing there were taking pictures, taking videos, and everyone was remarking, only at West Point can we stop the partisanship, stop the politics, and everyone cooperate. That was really cool. And as far as that picture,
I mean, does that look like a Democratic ticket to you?
absolutely. I just don't know who's on top.
Who do you think would be?
I can't tell you. I'm not sure. And the thing is,
could that ticket win?
Yes, it could. And the Academy teaches you that there is no room for partisan politics. That your commander-in-chief, regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you serve that person because you're serving the Constitution. And we need to do this. We need to understand this. We need to stop looking at our labels and start looking at leadership, at followership, and probably most importantly, results.
So Governor Newsom seems to be leaning into the partisanship. Sophia Bolog of the San Francisco Chronicle put out an article called "The Hot Troll Summer," and they put together an animation that literally shows Governor Newsom as a troll with the hair up as well that they put in the Chronicle. There's a look at that image that they created. He is going all in and sort of fighting back against Trump in very partisan ways. He's seeing big numbers on social media for him. He's seeing increases in poll numbers for him. He's seeing increases in fundraising. Is this a good strategy? Is this the way that you fight Donald Trump?
It's a good strategy if you're a Democrat trying to become the next nominee. It's a bad strategy if you're an American and you want us to work together side by side, roll up your sleeves, and actually get it done. And in the end, we need someone, as this interview began, we need someone who will look the camera straight in the eye and say, enough. Someone who says, I'm not going to do this anymore. And there are Democrats and Republicans who will challenge the status quo. Make no mistake, this is how you raise money. This is how you get attention on social media. But it is not good for the country. It's not good for the state. And we have to do better.
But he seems to have made the calculation that the old Michelle Obama line, when they go low, we go high, is naive and doesn't work. And that Democrats feel like they're getting their butts kicked by Donald Trump. And so they need to give those same tactics back. And it could be great to be so principled and nuanced and all the rest of that, but we're losing and that the country is at stake. And so we need to punch them in the face harder than they're punching us. I mean, that seems to be the calculus right now.
And that's the strategy. And you cannot out-Trump Donald Trump. It will not work. It's why the Democratic Party has its lowest numbers nationwide that it's ever had. More people resent them, oppose them, refuse to vote for them than ever before. And there are three groups that have left them. Younger voters that were so pro-Democratic hate this negativity, and younger men are looking to the Republican Party. The second group, Latinos. Twice as many Latino voters as African-American voters, almost twice as many, soon to be twice as many. And once again, a plurality of Latino men voted for Trump. Never happened before. And the third is organized labor, unions, where they look, and the Democrats, in an organizational way, have been a part of labor for years. These voters look to them and say, why are you talking about transgender? Why are you bringing up the social issues that aren't part of our lives? Why aren't you focusing on us? Three groups that are essential to the Democratic coalition that have left them. And they're not Republican. They're not even Trump, although they voted for him. But they're giving the other side a try. And none of this negativity and none of this punching them in the face is going to bring them back.
What do you think of the Epstein stuff and President Trump's reaction to it? And is that a real risk for him?
Which is more important to you? The changes to Medicaid or Trump's relationship to Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, what's getting a lot more attention right now?
But which matters more in the greater scheme of things? Which matters more, inflation or Epstein? Which matters more, immigration or Epstein? Are they watching it? Yes, you're correct. But are they clicking on it? But the public says, keep our neighborhood safe, keep our streets clean, make life more affordable, more livable, create more jobs and more opportunities. And Epstein has none of that. Epstein is salacious.
But is it also, I mean, some in the Republican Party for years have talked about it as elites, as a pedophile ring, as protecting children, that's what this is about. And that if there is a elite pedophile ring that has been attacking children for years, we have a responsibility to stand up for those kids.
And that is absolutely correct. But is the goal to make kids safe, or is the goal to beat up on Donald Trump? You know the answer to that. And that's one of the things that's so important about politics. Why do we do what we do? What is our motive? What is our intent? Are we trying to make this country stronger and safer and more efficient, more effective, more accountable? Or are we trying to play politics? We have enough of the politics. We have enough of this salacious crap. And I've cleaned up my language for your show. We can do better than this. So, does Donald Trump have some explaining to do? Sure. But in the end, tell me what you're going to do to make my life more affordable, more livable, more positively impactful. Show me how you're going to change my life day to day. That'll get somebody elected. And more importantly, that's what they're elected to do, to make life better. And they're not doing it.
Frank Luntz, thank you for coming on and sharing your views. And thank you for what you're doing with West Point. And please thank your incredible cadets for their service on our behalf.
Well, and again, I say to you, I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. I don't deserve a thank you. When you do what you're supposed to do in life, if you raise your kids well, get them educated, pay your taxes, no one should thank you because it's what you're trained to do. I need to do more. And I should bring you up to West Point so you can meet them.
I'd love to.
We all need to do more.
Yeah.
And that should be the story of this segment. How can we do more to make this country cleaner, safer, and healthier?
Thank you for the inspiration.
Thanks.
Up next, we get into some of that